desert.
This monument was commissioned by the Russian embassy in April 1999. Next to it is a common grave of people who didn't know what to do and how to live on after the lowering of the St. Andrew's flag in November 1924. They were banned from wearing the Russian Navy uniform.
More than 30 Russian sailors committed suicide in Bizert in autumn 1924. Many others travelled to other countries. Those who decided to stay had to find ways to live on. The French authorities offered French citizenship to all members of the Russian squadron. Some accepted it, while others found it unacceptable.
My mother preferred working as housemaid in a French house to giving up being Russian. And my father remained Russian too. He was registered as a Russian immigrant, but he didn't care. He never gave himself and Russia up.
The Maritime Almanac is one of the oldest Russian magazines. Its archive contains documents related to the history of Gali Monastyryova's family. Her great-great-grandfather Nestor Monastyryov, a commander of the Russian submarine Utka, published the magazine from 1921 to 1924 in Bizert.
That magazine was typed on a typewriter at night at the submarine. It featured contributions from all officers who had anything to say. They wrote about World War I and other battles. The magazine later went out in 17 countries.
After the Bolshevik Revolution and the ensuing civil war, more than 2 million Russian citizens were scattered all over the world. Their knowledge, skills, and talent serving many countries well.
They used the knowledge they had acquired in Russian institutes and universities to work in other countries. Russian immigrants would establish libraries, universities, and theaters. They published lots of books. Tunisia is a part of the great Russian contribution.
Today, Tunisia is one of the most westernized countries in North Africa. Of course, the credit for this must be given to France, whose protectorate Tunisia had for a long time. At the same time, even in Russia, few people know that local roads, which are in no way inferior to German autobahns, were designed and constructed by Russian officers. The Russians built the local water supply system and made great contributions to local medicine, education, and cartography. Anastasia Shirinskaya, or Madame Shiransky as she is known there, was a maths teacher at a school for most of her life.
Madame Shirensky is a book. She is incredible. She's taught many professionals in her school. She's very sweet, and we in Bizert consider her one of us. She is a true Bizertian. Everyone loves Madame Shirensky.
Many of Anastasia's pupils now hold high ranks, not only in Tunisia, but also in Europe. One of them is Bertrand Delanoy, the mayor of Paris. Anastasia Shirinskaya always keeps his present with her.
This is the cane that he presented to me. This one, I think, is made from ebony and lined with silver. I asked him for something less fanciful, so it would hold me well at my 95.
The Alexander Nevsky Church in Bizert is the only Orthodox church, the royal doors of which are draped with the St. Andrew flag, one of the flags that went down on October the 19th, 1924. As early as the mid-1920s, realizing that they are not going to return home, Russian sailors began raising money to build a church in Bizert. Raising the required sum took them 10 years, with donations coming from Russian emigrants in Tunisia, France, and the then Czechoslovakia.
Well, it is worth living to the age of 95 to see Russian ships enter Bizert and seamen go to the church that the once despised immigrants built on their last pennies.
In 1956, another Orthodox church, the Church of the Resurrection of Christ, was dedicated in the Tunisian capital. It was also built on money donated by emigrants, this time mostly children of those who came to Bizert in 1920. Many items from ships, carefully preserved over the years by the Russian people, found a new home in this new church.
These are 4 bronze chandeliers from the St. George warship. We know for sure that they come from there because Anastasia Shirinskaya has photos made in the ship's shrine. The chandeliers are on those photos, among other items.
The new church was built not only as a memorial to those who had left their motherland forever. During World War II, their children fought against the Germans and their allies in the sands of Africa, shoulder to shoulder with the Americans, the British, and the French. Hanging next to the memorial board in honor of Russian emigrants who died during World War II is a plaque in memory of Soviet prisoners of war. During the war, the Nazis would bring thousands of them into Africa to work on construction sites. In the early 1960s, the church lost nearly all of its parishioners, and the priest left as well. The Tunisian authorities promised that the church would work as long as there was at least one parishioner left.
This is the downtown of the capital, after all. They probably wanted to build something else there, or use the church building for different purposes. That was when Anastasia Shirinskaya called upon all Russian emigrants.
On Anastasia Shirinskaya's initiative, a board of trustees for the church was established. The church was looked after by a new generation of Russian Tunisians, Soviet people who emigrated in the 1960s and 70s. In the early 1990s, Anastasia insisted that a priest be sent in from Russia to the church in Tunisia. At the time, she also began restoring her ties with her motherland.
We couldn't just walk past her, and she herself was so keen to reunite with Russia and her native people. To me, she's an example of patriotism and an example of a person serving her motherland in any way she can.
In 1999, something happened to Anastasia Shirinskaya that she had waited for nearly 80 years. She received a Russian passport. She could have got it several years earlier, but she refused. The country was already new, but passports were still the same, with the Soviet insignia.
The military attaché told me, "Come on, take it. We'll replace it the moment new passports become available." I said, "I have waited for 80 years. I can wait some more." So I finally got the one I like.
Anastasia Shirinskaya admits that she is happy with her life. Again, she is a Russian citizen, to which she had always been true. Her house sees guests from Russia almost every day. There are young people and older people, such as diplomats, historians, and reporters. What matters most to Anastasia is that Russian ships again call it Bizard. She says it's worth living for 90 years to see Russian sailors lined up under the St. Andrew flag once again, fluttering in the wind.